Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of Supernatural Girls. I'm your host, Patricia Baker, and I'm here with my co host, all the way from Tucson, Miss PK. How are you tonight?
I'm fine. I haven't melted yet. They're trying to do it to us, but not yet. I'm holding out for the good stuff.
Yes, good for you.
God.
Tucson gets hot.
Oh, it certainly does. You can fry an egg on the sidewalk, and it doesn't take long. We're
Oh,
into it our little hot spurts, unfortunately. Of course,
yes.
then I bitch and moan now, but I'm awful grateful in the winter. So,
Yes, and I'm jealous. I'm
yeah,
very jealous in the winter.
yes, everybody get prepared, folks. It's coming, whether like we like it or not, like a freight train.
Oh, gosh.
Mercury retrograde is coming this week.
Oh, oh
Uh,
no.
know that. And so anything to do with communications can and will get messed up. Anything that you have to do as far as putting anything to writing, be very, very careful. Read what you're putting together. Don't pay the quick flip over because you're liable to make marks on your backside where you sit.
Uh-oh.
And on top of that, we've got a full moon coming up. So, folks,
Expansive.
the rail, it's going to be a ride.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Well,
will recommend, though, anything that you have to sign or get taken care of, if you're not born in a retrograde, you better get your signature on it now. You got
okay.
days to get yourself put together.
Just a few
Otherwise,
days.
accept the bumps and bruises that'll come from the other.
Okay. We've been warned again.
I'm looking at my stuff again, and I go, oh, I forgot that. Ooh,
Yeah, exactly.
still do it.
Well, we put together, I want to tell everybody, a house number app
Yes.
because, as you guys know, you all went crazy about PK talking about house numbers and interior room numbers. And so we had almost 400,000 people come to our TikTok account to ask questions about their house numbers.
Right.
So today we put an app together. I'm going to be launching it on Supernatural Girls website. So you can actually put in your house number, and there's all kinds of ways you can change the energy. You're going to see it right on the app. Super easy to use. Our gift to you, we wanted to help you with trying to make your lives better based on numerology, right? So fix your life with numbers. Here we come.
Exactly.
Now,
Remember, the minute we're born, we have a tag that's called numbers of month, day, and year of birth. Then they take us home to an address, and we want to know how to fix those addresses they keep throwing us into.
we got to fix every one of them to have a better life, you know? I mean, hey, it's got to come back to making it better, and that's what we try to do. I had
Exactly.
a couple of things I wanted to share about abstract affirmations because that's what I've been sharing at the beginning of every show after you talk about the numbers. So pardon me shuffling the papers, but what I wanted to explain is why abstract affirmations are powerful because they don't really have to make sense. And there's a reason for that because they work differently. And there's been several well documented psychological and neurological mechanisms that support self affirmation theory. And this comes from a psychologist, Claude Steele, and subsequent neuroscience research. So, what abstract affirmations do is they reduce psychological threat and broaden perspective. And it also creates brain activation and reward pathways. If you just do a regular affirmation, there's a chance that there's a part of you that's going to say, I don't believe it. But with an abstract affirmation, you can bypass all of that. So, again, lots of research I'm not going to go into right now, but I wanted to give you a few of these to use for the week.
Mhm.
Good one. I embody abundance. Now, you can also put love, you
Mhm.
can word money, health, anything that you want to create in your life.
That's what makes it special.
Yes, very personal. I am a magnet for abundance or health or love. The frequency of abundance lives in my heart and surrounds me with joy. Very abstract. That's a good one. I'm going to say it again. The frequency of abundance lives in my heart and surrounds me with joy. So try those this week. And they say the best time to do them is morning. And another fun way to do this is to say them out loud to yourself in the mirror. So give those a whirl. See what great things you can create. Okay. Now talk about creation.
Yes,
We've got a master creator with us tonight, do we not?
we definitely do.
My
Definitely.
gosh. I think we're just going to be sitting at this lady's feet because she pulled off the impossible in this Hollywood economy world, which has slowed down so very much.
Mhm.
Melissa Tittl has achieved greatness with her film, Illusion. And I'm going to tell you about Melissa. She's amazing. So she is a leading voice in consciousness media, an investigative journalist, award-winning filmmaker, and the creative force behind some of the most talked about programming in science, spirituality, and human potential. Across a career spanning Hollywood and the world's biggest networks, she has created and written shows for Netflix, History, and Discovery, including Ancient Aliens and the Universe, and hosted and led investigations on UFO Witness for Discovery. As former head of content for Gaia, the world's leading platform for conscious media, she shaped a generation of programming on spirituality, the mind, and human potential, creating flagship series such as Ancient Civilizations. That vision made her a natural fit for Dr. Joe Dispenza. With Hawthorne Studios, she produced and directed Source, It's Within You, the documentary built around the largest meditation study ever conducted, now streaming worldwide in 17 languages on Apple TV, Amazon, and Google Play. Her career began in Hollywood at Paramount Studios, working on franchise films, including one of my favorites, Star Trek and Mission Impossible. Her award-winning film, Code 12, uncovers a hidden mathematical code linking ancient megalithic structures, sacred texts, and quantum physics, a discovery that supports the simulation hypothesis. It won Best Sci-Fi Feature at the UFO Expo Film Festival, Best Director at the 4B Galactic Years screenings, and the Palme d'Or at Midwest Weird Fest, among other festival honors. She is the producer and director of Illusion. We are here with Melissa to hear all about it. Melissa, welcome to the show. My gosh, you're amazing.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for having me. This is amazing. What an intro. Wow.
Well, it's all about you, my dear. You're amazing that you have created such wonderful, inspiring programs for us to watch and be a part of that audience. And here you've done it again with this beautiful new film. You were kind enough to let PK and I watch it. It was amazing, wonderful. Oh my gosh. What inspired you to do Illusion?
Well, as you probably gathered from my intro, I just kept asking more questions. I really wasn't satisfied with the answers I was getting because probably anybody listening, when you deep dive into whatever you're interested in, once you get to a level of like, aha, that totally makes sense. You know what? There's another layer. There's another door. And for me, this movie is that other door. Going deeper, asking more questions. Okay, so all of this stuff exists: the supernatural, the unknown, my 3D experience. But why? Why is it all here? Why are we experiencing it at all? And that's really what the impetus for Illusion is about.
So you gathered together some of the greatest minds and hearts in this whole genre. And I can imagine they were all honored to work with you on this and very excited about the project.
Yes, I mean, I do this thing where when I interview people, I tell them this is my project and I want you to be involved. But most of them don't even know what the project is about. There's a level of trust that they're like, okay, I have no idea where she's going with this, but I'll find out a year from now.
That's great. That is great. Now, how long did it take you to make this film?
See, I started about a year and a half.
Wow.
That's
a long
not
time.
a tremendously long time, believe it or not, in this industry. It really isn't. But is there anything, I mean, when you look back at this film, the history of it, how it came to be, and is there anything that you found really shocking, surprising with these experts you were talking with?
I keep a lot of the information I'm gathering and how I'm comparing all the conversations kind of like locked inside when I'm doing these interviews. But what I love about these interviews is, and I'm not sure if it's me or it's something working through me, like this feedback. There's another voice in there. I don't know what it is.
Somebody else wants to join us. It happens all the time.
There's this moment in all of the interviews, and when you watch the film, and you two have, so maybe you'll kind of understand where that moment happens, where they're telling me exactly what they know. They're like, this is what I know, this is what I do. I'm a scientist, I'm a philosopher, I'm an astrologer, whatever I do. But there's a moment in that interview where they soften and they kind of let go of what they think they know, and they allow their mind to kind of connect the dots in a way that that maybe they haven't done on camera before.
Mm-hmm.
And that is that beautiful moment where we're merging the concepts of science and spirituality, not to be woo-woo, but to really understand how we're all connected. And I've had some profound interviews with the scientists that you watched in this documentary about, well, what could these things be? Or how could all of this organization and patternization in the universe really mean? And how does it connect to our lives and what we're doing here?
Yeah, because as you well know, everybody watches films like yours. Mm-hmm. And their question is, how is this going to make my life better?
Mm-hmm.
Is this going to bring me to an understanding that allows me more freedom, more love, more understanding, things like that? So how do you see this film interacting with your audience that way?
So there's, I always feel like there's two kinds of audience. There's the ones that just want information, and
Mm-hmm.
there's the ones that are like, I want to know how it's going to make my life better.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are polarizing, and for the ones that have been doing this work for a while, they're both. So I'm dealing with three audiences. So I have to, when I'm writing all of the information, I have to think, okay, there's the audience that just really wants an information dump. And then there's the audience that's constantly thinking to themselves, okay, well, that's really great about the universe and all that stuff, but like, how am I going to relate with my husband? Or, how am I going to find happiness and manifest things? And then there's other people that are like, I just kind of want to know how it all works. So at all moments in time, what I tried to do when I'm making films, and specifically this one, because I was like, I have three audiences. I would get too far into the information dump because, as you saw, there's some really sciencey stuff. And then I would be like, okay, wait, let's just pause. How is this relating to your relationships right now?
Yeah.
And then we would come back and we'd be like, okay, now let's go back to science. And then we'll go back to like how this translates into your relationships. And because the thing is, it doesn't matter what information you have. It's really about, how am I living my best life right now? What am I supposed to be doing in this human body right now? And how can I express what needs to be expressed in my soul through this experience in this 3D time-space continuum. And this film really gets to the heart of that, the heart of being human. Yes, there's lots of information, and information logically lets us settle into this crazy existence. But the heart of it is what makes us human and why we are so important in the cosmos with everything else that could possibly exist out there.
Mm-hmm. And you talk a lot about cymatics and geometry and what are we really? Are we some geometric fragment that comes into life and we have our own sign stamp? I mean, it's very fascinating the way you bring this all together and talk about it. And it really makes you think, what are we? What makes us move and wake up in the morning and get going? And then how we get, as you say, divisive, or how we come together. What kind of musical instrument are we playing? Are we in tune or not?
Yeah. And, is your design supposed to be playing the piccolo or the violin? Somebody told you have to play guitar when you're really good at drums.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know we're making musical analogies right now, but this is the confusion about being human. And then there's the storytelling of why we are where we are. And that could be true, but there's that other person here that wants to speak through. I so apologize to your audience. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's fine. We get all kinds of crazy noises coming through our show.
I have to say, though, not to tangent a little bit, but I'm in the oldest part of my house, and we have lots of antiques and like little relics from the Southwest. So I don't know if some spirit has come here to join
It's
her.
quite possible. I mean, we've had all kinds of, I'm serious, PK, back me up here. We've had all kinds of crazy things happen on the show. We even had a devil show up once. Remember that one?
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But it was very annoying at the time. It was I'll tell you a quick little story. We had a medium on, very famous, and she was recovering from pneumonia.
Right.
And we kept hearing this squeaky chair. And I knew it wasn't my chair. I knew it wasn't PK's chair. So I brought her into the quiet room and I said, hey, can you change your chair? Because it keeps squeaking and it's getting louder. And the medium said, it's not my chair. I'm sitting on a dining room chair.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so I'm like, okay. So they get back on the air. We're talking about, I said, I know we have a visitor. You're making too much noise and you're annoying the heck out of us. So just knock it off. And it stopped. But after the show is over, I took a picture in the room that I broadcast from and a devil's head showed up.
Oh my God. If that happens, don't tell me because I have to sleep here tonight.
Because we outed him, and we told him, look, you had to be quiet, and he did. So, there was nothing to be afraid of, but it was clear as a bell that this was a devil head. And in fact, we sent it to one of our other guests, Dr. Richard Gallagher, who I know you probably know who he is. He does a lot of exorcisms with people that, as a psychiatrist, he's able to say are truly possessed. So I sent it to him. And he goes, yep, that's a devil's head. Careful with that stuff. So, yeah, we have lots of crazy stuff. And it's great that you have artifacts that are behind you. It must feel very interesting. Lots of different energy from different times.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my whole house is filled with stuff from all over the world, but this room especially is, I know I'm tangenting from the film for a little bit, but I have an idea of how we're going to get back to it. So when I first bought this house with my husband, it's an old turn of the century hacienda in Santa Fe. And there was definitely energy in this room. And everybody could feel it. People that didn't believe in anything were like, I don't know, there's something in there. So I brought a Native American out to just check out the property because I don't know if I bought something on a, burial ground or anything like that. And he came out and he cleared an entity that was about 20 feet wide. So
Ooh,
it was pretty, it wasn't poltergeist level, but it was definitely, you know, like everybody could feel it. So he cleared it. He said it died up the road 4,000 years ago.
Oh,
Oh,
And it just liked our property. And I'm like, well, could you tell it to find another property? And then it left, but there was sort of like this portal that was open. So it was weird. This cat showed up, and we have a dog, but this like stray cat. But she just wouldn't leave our property. She's kind of adopted us. And since she showed up, there is no energy anywhere in our house. It doesn't matter what kind of relics we have. Yeah, and she doesn't want to come in the house. She stays outside. She stays at the doorway. And then yeah, and we think she's the guardian, so we're like, okay, we'll keep her.
yes.
definitely.
Yes.
Lots of milk.
Well, you do have an Egyptian name for your company, and as you know, cats were worshipped in Egypt.
That's true.
That's true.
So, yeah.
Yeah, maybe she's an old deity. And
Yes.
I wanted to transition to that because it's so much fun talking about the unknown in the aspect of whether it's scary or light or inspiring. And one of the things in illusion that we talk about and we show is that that it doesn't matter what the experience is. We really get to the heart of what could constitute our reality, whether we see it or we don't see it. And there are geometric shapes that are negative, as well as there's geometric shapes that are positive. So when you have a coherent thought, you have mostly what is this amazing modern term that everybody loves to use, sacred geometry, because it's perfect. It's perfectly coherent in all of its side. But when you have a negative thought or even a negative experience, or you come in contact with something negative, you have a fragmented, decoherent geometry shape. So if you were to strip away everything that was happening right now, including the sounds coming from our voices and what we look like and how we're communicating and what we're saying, everything, according to my research and to the 15 people that are in my documentary, you strip that away, it's just geometry interacting with each other. So when people get into this whole thing about the matrix and, we're just the matrix, that kind of scares humans because it feels like we're nothing. That means that everything that we live for means nothing, but that's not true. You are something, but what you are these geometry shapes that are either decoherent or coherent all the time, and you're running into them and absorbing them or repelling them.
That's very interesting.
Yes,
And yeah, I mean, I think people are tired of feeling like they're nothing. And it's one of the reasons I think that it's important to look at everything as a hero's journey, so that you're coming back, bringing yourself back, dragging yourself back sometimes from the edge of whatever to become sovereign. And that means so very much in terms of understanding geometry, understanding cymatics on a very deep level. I mean, because, yeah, we can look at geometry and say this or that, but did we really get it on an intense and interior level of what these geometric shapes are and how we work with them or work against them?
Good point.
I don't think many people understand the depth of this. I mean, certainly Greg Braden and a lot of the people that you had in your movie understand that. But how do you explain it to somebody who doesn't really have an experience of it?
Good point.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in the movie, I really tried to take all different kinds of modalities of where they would have seen such pattern. And what I'm really trying to get people to understand is that there's symbols and patterns and things around you that once you watch the movie, you're going to start to think, oh, I never thought of that. Like, even if you're like, okay, this is just crazy. This woman's talking about the fact that everything's geometry. And I've heard that before, but okay, whatever. But the film is really devised to analyze your life, the relationships you have, the communication you have, the experiences that keep showing up for you. They're all coded in a pattern that you are projecting every time you speak, every time you move, the way you smell, the things that you think about, the things that you come in contact with. We think that this is something that we have sovereignty about, and we do, but most of us don't practice it. We are constantly restructured by everything from the shape of our house to the people we're around to the things that we decide to think about at all times. And that's a simple way to understand something really complicated. And what I do is I take that out further into the universe and say it doesn't end. It's doing the same thing out there that's happening inside of you. And you are so important in this cosmic idea of everything. In fact, I don't want to give too much away with the movie, but we kind of look at our human existence as weak. We have emotions and we can't see all the things that maybe supernatural, otherworldly beings can see, and we feel kind of left out, and we want to know, we want to be part of this bigger existence. But the thing is, we're part of it all the time. These limitations are in place so that we can translate these cosmic messages into such a 3D existence. And the only way we can do that is if we have limitations of being able to see all the things that maybe we admire about otherworldly beings. And it is really a gift. It isn't easy, but it really is a gift. And I really want to start looking at it that way instead of this trying to be something else, when we were given this existence to translate some of the most important messages in the cosmos.
Yeah. And they are important messages. I mean, the ancient Egyptian temples, according to Lon Duquette, who's one of our friends on the show, they were designed to align your body with the greater understanding, the greater God. And just being in the temple is enough to do that if you let it happen. So, and there's lots of people that go to Egypt, have great experiences. Some of them just go for the food.
Oh God.
Some of them go to the temple, and that great experience of ascension, of knowing that this is what I am meant to do and meant to feel, that those temples were created that way. Yeah, I have a question for you. Did you hear anything about the Tartarians? Is that just something made up, or is that a real civilization that was dismantled? Because they talk a lot about geometry there and the bells, because we don't have bells anymore. So I don't know. I'm fascinated with it all. I was wondering if you've come across any of that.
Oh my God, I love talking about Tartaria. It's first of all, it's not my place of study, but the way I try to look at all this information, because I get to talk to so many people, is that there has to be a part of this that has an element of truth. Whether it's Tartaria, whether all the buildings in New York City or Buffalo, New York, are old Tartaria buildings that have been torn down or have been rebuilt or covered over. I'm not really sure, but there was there seems to be these moments in time in human history where there's this explosion of understanding of the universe. And I think there was one in the turn of the century. And there's all of these markings, and a lot of the Tartaria buildings are these kind of turn of the century photographs where you see these really intricate pieces and stuff like that. And you're like, that's not there anymore. Like, why would somebody tear that down? That's so weird.
Right. Yes.
I mean, they're like immaculate, they have like light bulbs in them and all this stuff. Right. But there was this moment in the turn of the century, just like the Renaissance period, where there's this explosion of information, and people were just off the charts. Like, this was a time, like early turn of the century, where people were studying ancient Egypt, There was local gatherings of women talking about ancient Egypt and doing seances and all sorts of stuff. And then
So cool.
20 years later, all that was, taken down, so I think there was these moments in human history that were explosive. And then it's weird. It's like something dropped in the water in our consciousness and we just forgot. And this is so I love the story of it being even more ancient than Atlantis or Atlantis-like, but I can't confirm or deny that. But what I can say is human consciousness is pretty strong, the collective consciousness. And collective consciousness to me is just 51% of the population believing something. It's just like common sense, right? I mean, let me give you like a really lame example. Recycling. I travel all over the world. A lot of countries do not recycle. A lot of countries don't even have a significant garbage pickup. There's people just dumping stuff all over. And when I do tours to different places all over the world, the first thing that Americans say to me is like, why is there all this garbage in this beautiful place? It's like, because it's not in their collective consciousness. There's nobody to care about it that's going to go to the government and say, clean it up. Yep. It's not that they don't want it there or do want it there. It's just not a collective consciousness thing. And this is so powerful and it changes overnight. And we have the ability to change that story and our reality and bring in those new concepts faster than you think we are. I think we like the story of the struggle, but to be honest with you, there's things that happen around us all the time, and just 51% of the population believes it, and then all of a sudden it's in our collective consciousness.
Yeah, like the 100th monkey.
Yeah,
thing, exactly. Yeah. Well, we have a lot to learn, that's for sure. But it is an exciting time to be alive because so many of the concepts that you bring forward in your wonderful film, Illusion, we wouldn't be allowed to talk about that years ago. We would have been made fun of. They would have burned us stake, or it would have been unpleasant. But there's much more awareness now and acceptance, right, of different kinds of ideas, and we don't have to be so afraid to speak up about them. You don't have to be afraid to make a movie like that.
No, definitely not. I have a question for everybody listening. How many times do you think you were burned at the stake? I think every lifetime I had lost my head. I think that
really, that's terrible. Really,
no, I think I just was too busy. Like, this is like, I don't know if I believe any of this. I lost my head. Some lifetimes were longer.
Maybe you got a little too close to Marie Antoinette. It is quite possible. Well, they did a lot of beheadings in certain times of our very dark history. Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. Yeah, I think we've all had, not all of us, but many of us have had darker experiences with the worst of humanity. Maybe that's what propels us forward to be better and to expose things like that and bring things to the light.
Would you think that feeling something, the uncertainty of our feelings or our emotions, makes a difference or draws us more towards wanting to look backwards to see how come?
I do agree. I do think that is true. One of the people that we interview in this documentary, Jason Padgett, who had an unfortunate experience where he was left for dead. He was beaten almost to death. But in that moment, he survived, but he was almost knocked into a higher state of consciousness. And at this moment, at first it was really hard for him to function because he was seeing everything in these geometry shapes, like water was coming out in spikes, and it was too much, but he got a handle on it. And the interesting thing that I didn't get to dive deep into the documentary about it, because it would have been such a tangent, was this idea of how our origin is in the singularity. This is what he can see. And and when we decide to be born in a separate body from singularity, which is our human existence, we Sorry, all these voices. We have this moment of separation, and as we have this moment of separation, we have what he calls light clocks. So all of these mechanisms all of a sudden turn into different frequency bands, and that becomes our birth into this time-space continuum at this time where you're experiencing reality with all the limitations and all the things that you came into. Now, when you meditate or have a psychedelic experience, or you're able to go back through you're using your trauma point as going back through, you can actually pick up and reprogram those light clocks. So you could actually, you think about it, every experience exists all at once, all the time. So if you go back through that tunnel, as he explains in the documentary, it'll be easier for you to see with a visual, you can reprogram that. And that's where people have manifestations or miraculous healings. But it's also where you can access past lives, or you can access a route to your trauma. Is that going back and having, a lot of people do this healing through, different modalities. The reason I wanted to show this and talk about this was because I really want to understand the science of it. I think all of us have had these experiences where we try to get to the root of why we have this trauma, whether it was a past life or this life, or why did it happen? And the idea that it could all exist, number one, you could change it, but you could actually go back to that lifetime and change those light clocks. This is his words, not mine. That's fascinating. So we have the ability to, through deep practice or whatever practice that you have, or through psychedelics or whatever modality, to go back. If you can visualize that, which we create a visualization in this movie for you, you can reprogram it. And that's what you're reprogramming. You're reprogramming a set amount of limitations and experiences that you're going to have from the minute you're born to the minute you die. You can go back and reprogram that, and you can go back and access different lifetimes, and you can also reprogram that. That's fascinating. I love this because it's almost like a science behind this human experience that we haven't been able to put into a logical sense.
Yes, I mean, that's very exciting stuff. And I remember when I worked for Bob Monroe, Bob had a friend who had an experience like that, where he somehow, through the use of the binaural beats and the sound system that Bob put together, was able to go back in time. And he had a scar. I believe it was on his leg. It was a significant scar. And he went back in time and saw himself not doing whatever he had done that had created that misfortune. And when he came out of that state, the scar was gone. So that is proof of what you're saying.
Yeah. That's one of those things where all of a sudden he's changed a piece of his existence in this lifetime. And you hear about this stuff all the time, doing Dr. Joe Dispenza's documentary, these people that didn't have a thyroid and it started growing back on its own. Yes. It's like they're like a lizard, like they just lose a leg and it goes back. It was insane. And we could get into all spiritual matters of that, but the idea that we have access to this, and there is a formula to what we're doing, and there's a reason for that formula. And if you want to think about it this way, think about all your problems. Think about all the things that you're like, well, why did I pick this light clock?
Yeah.
Why did I pick at 3 o'clock? I wanted at 6 o'clock. You know what I mean? So think about it this way. If singularity is trying to express itself in 8 billion people, and then you think about all the other interdimensional beings in different existences that could possibly be in all dimensions of time and space, if it's wanting all of that to reflect different versions of it, then we would need different Rubik's Cube calculations of the human experience. Right? So each person has a unique set of things, and there's things that we can relate to. That we've had maybe similar experiences, but they're not all the same. So each of that is calculated to then express purely that person's soul through the Rubik's Cube of all of their limitations. And
Mhm.
that, in some respect, could be the purpose of humanity, is to express this beautiful piece of singularity through the human experience. And maybe that feels like, God, I thought it was going to be bigger, like, but you think about it, like, that is really beautiful. I mean, everybody I feel like who's listening to this, when you get to that point where you're really expressing who you are, it is the most gratifying thing in the entire planet, because it is what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, it's very freeing when you can get to that particular spot. That's wonderful. And I love what you talk about with light clocks. I mean, it's very, now I'm going to be thinking about this all night. Yeah, there's like, maybe I can create them. I don't know. It's, it's one of those fascinating things. I have no idea what a light clock is, but it's caught my attention. It's very interesting. So cool.
Melissa, how has this affected you with the research that you're doing? How has it changed your world?
Great question. Well, I mean, I first of all, I really was starting. Like I said, I keep everything in my head. So I'm interviewing people and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. That connects to here. And, kind of weaving it together.
Right.
So there was this moment where I finished a documentary around January, and I was already late to my projected time period. I was already late, and I was like, okay, I'll give it one more week. But I felt it wasn't right. And I was so frustrated because this needed to be done, Yeah. I was, running out of money. This is what happens when you're an independent filmmaker. But I just, in my heart, was like, it wasn't right. And I realized it was me, because I was coming out and saying all of these things and putting these things together, but I wasn't embodying it. I wasn't really I wasn't really looking at the world the way that I was saying the world was. And it took until, I just finished the film like 2 weeks ago. It took until, now basically for my human soul to catch up with the fact that no, you can't say these things until you are able to do it. You're able to look at the world that way, whether it's your relationships, or the universe, or just every day going to the grocery store. And that was hard for me. And you think it wouldn't be hard because I've been in this space for like, I don't know, 25 years or something like that. But it was, the universe kind of kicked my butt a little bit. And I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, you come on with that, but let's see you embody that.
Right. You had to embody the whole thing. That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so your heart and soul was in this.
Yeah.
So, that's what we saw when we watched this film. That was very personal to you and very important. It made it important to us,
Yes, paid more attention to it because of it. How has this affected your personal relationships, like with your husband, etc.?
Well, there's the 3D filmmaker situation, which is it took over every space of my brain and my life, because which is really hard. I just interviewed James Fox, and we were talking about how when you're trying to make a film, how it like you literally like live in your own bubble. Like even when people are talking to you, you're still thinking about your film, like my husband's like, are you there? I'm like, yeah, no, I'm here. I hear you, but I'm not. I'm like, what is it? But my husband and I like to have these deep conversations about stuff. And so when I started to transition into the embodiment of the message, I started, and I even say this in the film, actually, I started to really think about things as they weren't against me. I was just absorbing other people's information, or I wasn't being true to like my own I guess, in the sake of this shape. So when I really started to embody that, and I would start to have conversations with my husband, and he was like, "When am I going to see you? You know, you're always doing stuff." I was like, "Okay, this is a moment of which I can really truly just express what's happening, and I can be present with him. And it's not about being right or wrong. It's just about being there in this moment, and we'll figure it out. But it's not about trying to get somewhere. It's just about expressing. God, I hope I'm saying this right. And it just kind of grounded things. Yeah, it just kind of grounded things. And like, even, okay, let me give you a situation. Maybe that's not my husband. The grocery store. I'm always in a hurry. I've got a million things to do. And there's always somebody in the grocery store or somebody driving that doesn't have a lot to do. And they are not at my same pace.
You know who they are.
Like, what is going on? And I started to really think about the messages that I put together in this movie. And I started to think about, okay, if everything's geometry and this person is clearly sticking their spokes into my amazing bubble that I have going on, how do I not reject them, but incorporate them into what I'm accomplishing? God, I hope I'm saying this right in English here.
You're fine.
Okay, because it's hard to explain. So when I started to visualize everything as geometry, the person stopped ignoring me, and it was weird. It was like they just moved over. They just, moved out of the lane, got out of the way. There's nothing to fight. There was no things to be like, hey, I'm trying to get the strawberries. You're in my way, or like, move out of the way. I'm trying to, turn over here to the left. It just happened. It was like, okay, no. This is where this is the shape. This shape is here. That's okay. We're all moving, and it just, I don't know. It's if everything is invisible that is happening to us all the time, if we focus on the invisible and allow that to be real, it's amazing what we can accomplish in our everyday lives by believing that that is true. Now, it doesn't mean that we just throw caution to the wind and we do those woo-woo things and spiritual bypass, but we really believe in the fact that we're safe. There's nothing to fear. We're going to get what we need to get, and all of us can coexist together. And when you actually, I love visualization, probably because I'm a filmmaker. When I visualize that into a geometry shape, everything seems to kind of coexist in a easy way. It's not like you're not going to run up against things, but the fact that you can coexist in ease, I think, would be a nicer way to approach humanity than the other.
Right. It's nice when things move out of your way. That's good.
Exactly.
And you found a way to do that very gracefully.
Definitely.
It was just grace. All of a sudden, it was just the person's annoying behavior wasn't in your way anymore. That's great. Yeah. So you did embody it.
Yes. And there's times where I've got to remember that. I've got to sit in that. I'm going to be like, ease and grace. Everything's fine. I mean, you know what? As I'm speaking, it sounds so easy. And I know it's not easy, because in the human experience, it always seems like there's roadblocks to things. And if you look at those as geometry running up, bumping into you, just think of like all those beautiful mandalas that people play. Like, I don't know if you guys do this, but I love like those YouTube channels where they have the mandalas.
Oh, yes.
Propagating, and they have like 432 hertz or something like that. You just think of yourself as that, like you're in the center of that, just propagating your, I mean, yes, other geometries and people's things will exist, but yours will kind of coexist in an overlay into whatever frequency that is. I just want to transition for a second, because I want to make another analogy that maybe might be easier for people to understand. So there's been a lot of studies, as you were saying, Patricia, there's a lot of talk about cymatics, and I bring things back to sound because that's easier for humans to understand than frequency. Like everything's frequency. It's like, okay, what does that mean? So
Right.
I translate the frequency into sound and try to get people to understand that from like a more human level. And we talk about cymatic plates, cymatics, and how when you put sand on a plate and you turn it up to a certain hertz, you know, it makes all these different geometry shapes. And these are the frequencies that you are interacting with. Now, one of the most common shapes that cymatic plate makes is variations of the cross. So there's the Christian cross, there's the Ankh, there's sort of like an indigenous looking cross, you know, it has some different kind of lines, but there's a cross in there. And so this is the most widely used symbol in different variations of religious symbolism across the world. They put it into stuff. Now, between 100 and 500 hertz is where we see these cross shapes formulate on a cymatics plate. Now, over the past, I'd say 30 years, there's been a lot of sound engineers, a lot of people that have tested different frequencies in different temples, the pyramids, chapels, sacred spots, and most of them register between 100 and 500 hertz. So ancient people, including transitioning from ancient knowledge to cathedrals and chapels with, you know, depending on what you believe in, the Freemasons built it and all that kind of stuff. They were channeling a sacred geometry shape between 100 and 500 hertz. And between that number also is where the human voice range is. So you have very low tones in 100 hertz and to very high tones. And so the human voice was able to channel in between this range a cross-like geometry shape, and this is what was translated in a lot of these ancient sites. So you just think to yourself, well, I love that frequency in that cave and it feels good, but what you're feeling is a certain geometry that the ancients knew that they were bringing into that space. Now, today we have many different symbolic religious symbols with crosses or different variations of that. But if you think about the origin, ancients knew that that was a geometric shape that was formed, and that represented a emotion, a feeling, a connection, a certain kind of connection. And that is why they were resonating at those levels. Right now, we just look at it as a symbol. We look at it as a story. But ancient times, that was a frequency that was channeled through our body and was a geometry shape in its invisible form.
Mm.
And so that is what you're doing when you're at the grocery store. Sorry, I had a transition. So
I know.
between 100 and 500 hertz, you are not channeling any type of cross.
And, you know, it's interesting when you're talking about this. It's so exciting and to explore these dimensions. But I keep thinking, you know, part of what we're facing in humanity today is that we keep losing our centerpiece. We just on the outside of the geometric form rather than in the center of the geometric form.
Yep.
So what's running us? If we're not in the center, then anything can be running us. You know, meeting these people in the grocery store can be running us.
Exactly.
Rather than, you know, it's like you're intersecting with them, but you're not in your center. You're not in the center of your geometric form. So it's going to begin to have more of an effect. It's so easy to get pulled off center.
So easy.
Challenging to be where we should be. But yeah, but there's so many different components to all of this. And you managed to bring in quite a few. So it makes your film so fascinating. But you have to tell our audience, please, how can they see this? When can they see this?
Yes, of course. All right, so July 24th through the 26th, we have a free watch weekend. It's something that's really important to me. I love getting the community together to be able to everybody to see the movie before I sell it to a streamer. So this is free watch weekend, July 24th through the 26th, 48 hours, free movie. go to hathorstudios.com. You'll see a little button when you get there that says Watch Illusion, which is the name of the movie. Just click there, sign up, and you get to watch the movie.
For free. That is so generous. Gosh. And
Great.
so after that, you'll be selling it to Netflix or Prime Video or something like that, and people can
Yes.
watch it there.
Yes.
So
And we will, we have about 15 different experts, some of them from the movie, some of them not from the movie, but really support the journey. After the movie, we'll have kind of like an online workbook conference where once you see the movie, you'll really understand this. But we talk about what's your form, what's your geometry, what are you trying to bring in? So we have 15 people that have different modalities of teaching you or showing you different components of that, and which will be with like a workbook and everything. It'll be online, so it'll be easy. But then afterwards, we have a bunch of community events that I'm going to try to host, whether it's dinners or getting together. I really think that if we're going to bring new messages out there, being able to be together as humans and express that is the most important.
It is. So, and you're also going to have a private showing, right? You're going to have a nice kind of like a celebration party. Here's the movie.
Yes. So we have a premiere July 1st. It's only in a couple days. And in Austin, Texas, we're almost sold out. We got a couple more seats. And
Good for you.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
they'll be
that
the first, besides you two, they'll be the first people to see the movie, and pretty exciting stuff.
Well,
That
we're
is
very
wonderful.
honored that you allowed us to see it.
Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations. This is quite an achievement. I know you've done a lot in film, but this feels special. It really does. It feels like you broke through some barrier and brought us back all these little nuggets of knowledge. And we appreciate you. You're just wonderful. Thank you for coming on the show. This has been delightful. Thank you so much.
Oh my God. Thank you guys for having me. You guys are amazing. I could talk about weird stuff with you ladies all night.
And we could with you. This is great. I know we're still watching behind you. You have quite an interesting array of energy back there for sure. Mayan. What is that Mayan energy doing behind you? I don't know, but
I don't know. Mayan, Egyptian, we're all shoved in this room.
Well, thank you so much. And everybody, I hate to end the show because it's been so much fun, but I see our producer has let us know we're winding down. And oh gosh, well, everybody be sure to take advantage of this free showing that you're giving. And the dates again are
July 24th through the 26th. Go to Hathor Studios, like the goddess, HATHOR studios.com, and you can sign up right there.
okay. Excellent, everybody. And I think next week, you know who we have, PK? Somebody you've been wanting to speak with for a long time.
Not me.
William Stickevers,
Right.
one of the best astrologers in the world. He is coming in. He's going to land here, and we are going to be talking about what's coming. Don't miss it, everybody. So until next week, we'll see you on the Blue Highway. Good night, everyone.
Good night.